apologize to the girl and the family for suggesting it was a lie?
Never doubted the child. I was responding to a headline from your profession, the news profession, which happens all the time on Twitter. Doubted Joe Biden, which is usually a smart thing to do.
There are a lot of states in this union, the United States of America, that owe all of America an apology for the types of Congress people serving right now. And Ohio, unfortunately, is no exception. Jim Jordan, on behalf of Ohioans, I want to say, yeah, we need to get him. The other day, I did a video where I talked about Congresswoman Boebert. Same thing holds here for Jim Jordan. We need to go and get him. This is an embarrassment. The fact that he put out a tweet, you should know, about the 10-year-old girl in Ohio that was raped and impregnated. And we're going to keep talking about it over and over and over again. It is a stain not only on my state, but of this nation. And the fact that we're still playing games about undoing what the Supreme Court did is beyond me. But let me get back to Jim Jordan. Good old Jim decided that he didn't want to believe that it happened. So he put out a tweet basically intimating, him and other members of the GOP, that the story was fake, that it was false, that it was exaggerated, that it was not true. Well, it turns out that the story was unfortunately true, and this genius had to delete his tweet. But a reporter from CNN, Manu Raju, confronted Jim Jordan over that deleted tweet. Let's go on and watch this video.
Why'd you delete the tweet?
Well, because we learned that this illegal alien did this heinous crime. So we deleted the tweet.
Did you apologize to the girl and the family for suggesting it was a lie?
Never doubted the child. I was responding to a headline from your profession, the news profession, which happens all the time on Twitter. Doubted Joe Biden, which is usually a smart thing to do.
And as we can see, when he was confronted, he still did not have the decency or the self-awareness to say that he was wrong. Instead, he mumbling around about how he believed the child. How in the hell did you believe the child when the child didn't say anything?
Never doubted the child. I was responding to a headline from your profession, the news profession, which happens all the time on Twitter.
It's just maddening what these GOP, like Jim Jordan, will do to continue to try to make excuses for why their extremism, because that's what this is all about. It is total extremism on their part. And when you have something as sensitive as an allegation that a 10-year-old girl, a baby, was raped, common sense and decency would tell you to tread lightly. But oh no, the GOP could not do that. Ohio, on behalf of Ohioans, we owe you, the rest of the states in this union, an apology for Jim Jordan. We really, really do. Jim Jordan and other members of the GOP took it upon themselves to not only sensationalize this, but refused to believe that this could happen. Refused. And then he got caught. And I'm glad Manu confronted his behind. I'm really glad that he did. So, this is the point here. That people like Jim Jordan should not be in the Congress. They just should not. Ohio, we can and we must do better. And not only is this wrong on so many levels, not just for the 10-year-old little girl and her family, but it further points to the fact that women, and she's a little girl, but I'm talking about women, have totally lost their bodily autonomy when it comes to being able to have an abortion as a medical procedure. It further lets us know that there needs to be swift action on Roe, that there should be a carve out in that filibuster. And I'm talking to you, Senators Manchin, Sinema, Merkley, and Collins, talking to y'all. Get a clue, get a grip. Go ahead and do the carve out for Roe v. Wade, just like you did to increase the debt ceiling, Manchin and Sinema. But it doesn't make any sense that we're even still having this debate. And those same Republicans who talk about how they want small government, they always want it small enough to fit into a woman's womb. Is that right? All these freedom-loving, government should be out of our business Republicans have no problem with the hypocrisy of being okay with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. At a certain point, this cannot be about our individual beliefs about whether or not abortion from a religious standpoint is right or wrong. That's not the debate here. The debate is whether or not women have privacy and whether or not women can control their own physical bodies. That is what this debate is about. And at least what the verdict is right now, because of this extremist Supreme Court, the answer is no. So they came for abortion. It's out there that they're coming for marriage equality. They're coming for a whole lot of other stuff. If we are not careful, all of the rights, most of those fundamental rights, especially on the privacy side, will be stripped away. And this is why we need this Congress and this president to act post haste, to act like their hair is on fire, to act like that 10-year-old is theirs. And if the fact that Congressman Jim Jordan would not, even when confronted, just be self-aware and apologize and have some empathy for what happened to the little girl, 10-year-old girl, if that wasn't galling enough, let me just go ahead. When Raju told CNN anchor John King, quote, I asked him about the idea about whether a 10-year-old should be required under the law of his state, Ohio, my state, to have this child carried to term if she's raped. He would not answer that specifically, saying that this is up to the legislatures. He would not express his preference on the issue. Now that's saying, flat out, I can't get you to apologize for your tweet. You deleted it. We know now that it is true. Wouldn't apologize for that. Then he said, well, look, can you just admit that the law in Ohio is wrong to want to force a 10-year-old girl to carry a pregnancy to term? Wouldn't answer that either, because he's a coward. And he just deflected back to the legislature, which my legislature in Ohio is extremist as well. State of Ohio used to be a swing state, baby. We used to be the quintessential swing state. People would come in this state from both of those political parties to try to win votes here, because you never knew which way we were going to go. We were a state that was truly responsible for electing more presidents, or at least equal to a few other states. But people knew, baby, if you won Ohio, you going to win. No longer the case. We are blood red in Ohio. We ain't purple. We not swinging. We are blood red. And that's what's happening. A lot of blood is on these people's hands for the disruption that they're causing to other folks' lives. But somehow we got to draw the damn line when it comes to a 10-year-old baby being forced to carry a child to term. Mississippi, I'm sorry to do this to you, but Nina Simone had a song, Mississippi Goddamn. That song, listen to it if you haven't listened to it. It was about lynching. At this point in 2022, I've got to say, because of what happened to this 10-year-old girl and what her and her family had to do to help her get an abortion, it makes Ohio worse than Mississippi in this damn moment. Unacceptable.